I'm Ohana. On behalf of my lullaby, I will be telling you about our visit to Antelope Canyon. On Thursday, June 15th, during midday, we explored the canyon. Here's some information on the Antelope Canyon that we visited. Sue Sosi discovered the famous Antelope Canyon in 1931. This canyon was discovered by her when she was only a young girl herding sheep. One of the things that makes Antelope Canyon so special is its special, unique structure described as wave-like and its breathtaking colors. Many people chose to spend their vacations at this photogenic canyon because of this and the beams of light that color the canyon in lovely shades of orange and brown. This place is quite significant to Navajo culture, being a spiritual place for them, earning the name the place where water runs through rocks. From the Navajo, they would give thanks to the elements that caused it to end up that way. One of those elements being the flash floods that occurred in this area. Traveling through small cracks, they'd split apart the rock, creating the canyon as it is today. Antelope Canyon is quite popular, earning the title of the eighth wonder of the world. Part of the reason this canyon is so beloved is its easy accessibility for most. This astounding canyon, found in Page, Arizona, is usually quite busy in its warmer months, but some go when it's colder because it provides a unique experience for all. When we visited Antelope Canyon, we were in a tour guide. We were in a group with about maybe 15 or so people. There were some spaces where the canyon was more closed and we had to squeeze our way through the cracks, and there were others where it was open and spacious. It may not seem so, but flash floods still occur in the Antelope Canyon. It could take days for the tour guides that run those tours to clean them up, and due to this, the canyon is constantly changing because erosion is still breaking the walls. The steps to get down through the canyon can be quite steep, some of them being so you have to turn sideways so you can get down the steps, but the view is honestly worth it. And also, the tour guide that we had in particular was really nice and told us a lot of info, as well as taking pictures for us. I myself had visited the canyon once before this, but it was honestly surprising to hear how it had changed since then. New pathways had opened up since the last time I'd visited, and it wowed me. Our tour guide had told us that the groups in charge of touring the Antelope Canyon were actually the ones that had to clean it up, and our tour guide had told us about how they'd only have a few days to clean up all the water from flash floods. They did this with only buckets and shovels, and if there was too much sand that had gotten out of the canyon, they'd have to throw it in themselves. In most of the photos you can see my dad was the one taking the photos for us, so you won't see him in most of the photos, but there were a few photos where our tour guide offered to take some photos for us. The canyon was a very unique visit, and despite the fact that I had visited before, I still found myself greatly enjoying it. Every time you visit, it feels as if you're visiting the canyon for the very first time, and I found that to be quite nice. One of my personal favorites of the Antelope Canyon was the adventure that it provided for both new and old fans alike. This photo was taken by our tour guide. He had told us to look up, and he snapped a photo of the canyon and us. This photo was taken by my dad. As you can see, the canyon looks a little different, and here's the same photo in a different filter. I highly recommend this for anyone, including families. The first time we went, my sister was a small child, but we were all still able to greatly enjoy this trip. We had a lot of fun talking, walking, and exploring the canyon. It's as if it was like straight out of a picture book. Despite the very picturesque look of the canyon, it was still a little difficult to go through, as some of the areas we had to pass by were so squished that we had to force ourselves through. Being that we visited in the summertime, we all had to carry at least one water bottle per person due to the excessive heat. There were many cracks and places for us to stand, take photos, and stuff like that. Here you can see me and my grandpa going through one of those. The canyon did have quite a bit of stairs, but it still provided a very interesting experience. There were many different places for us to take photos, and wherever you went throughout the canyon, it made each photo look a little bit different, and it makes photos look special and unique. When visiting during the summertime, you practically need to have some sort of hat, sunglasses, or head covering because the sun can get really bright, making it difficult to see and making you feel quite hot. One of the things I greatly enjoy about Antelope Canyon is that even looking at it from a slightly different angle can make it seem as in like you're in a completely different spot. When we went to the Antelope Canyon, the sun was still brightly shining, therefore painting its light onto the rocks, providing very nice shades and colors. Even just looking up to the canyon above provides such a beautiful sight. The rocks are painted with just pretty colors, and it makes it seem as if you're in a painting. One of the most worrying parts is probably the descent. You can see how it looks like from the top view, but even then, something about that was a little bit thrilling because even despite the fact that I had done it before, the stairs were pretty steep. The floors were mostly covered in sand. I had tried sitting down on one of the rocks, but I found myself unable to due to the great amount of sand that was covering it. This is a group photo all 6 of us took together. I think it turned out quite nice. Here's a picture of my dadabay and dadu in the canyon together. Those two visited the canyon for the first time, while the rest of us had already been there once when I was around 6 or 7. I was super glad that I got to go to the canyon together with them because it provided such a nice experience together. We may look a little exhausted, but that's just due to the fact that the sun is quite bright and it's quite hot. Overall, the Antelope Canyon and the entire trip in general was such a nice, relaxing trip, and I'm glad I got to spend it with my family. Thank you very much on behalf of me and all my family for watching this video.